How is it going today, guys? I looked down because I literally did this entire video 5 minutes ago and forgot to turn on the mic. So I have turned on the mic. It is on round two. Today's topic of discussion is going to be there are no excuses in entrepreneurship. So luckily for me, this was not really an issue, making excuses, as I was somebody in my 9 to 5 world who basically already lived by that mentality. But this is something that I see with a ton of new entrepreneurs. Basically, the brick wall of running into and coming to the realization that there are absolutely no excuses in the world of entrepreneurship. Work either gets done or it doesn't. And it really is that black and white. So I'll walk you through a couple of personal stories that I've ran into and that I'm currently running into with Every Second Accounts. So very early on in my Every Second Accounts life, I was working a 9 to 5, I was going to school, and I had the company. So when it came down to delivering on the client's work, there was a lot of 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. nights, and sometimes into the morning. For a lot of the past, I would say really 3.5, 4 years, I've basically gotten accustomed to sleeping, 4 or 5 hours a night, which is something I don't necessarily recommend, but it's my truth. So it is what it is. And strictly because there are no excuses. And when it comes to deliverables for clients, the clients don't necessarily care that I have a 9 to 5 role or that I was in school. They just wanted, because we signed an agreement, their financials done every month, these reports and these conversations on these days, all the outlined deliverables. They just care that those are done. They don't care about excuses, and they don't deserve to hear excuses because they deserve the utmost of everything, because that's the contractual obligation in which they signed up for. So moving forward to a couple of months ago, basically before I hired my first couple of accounting managers for Every Second Accounts, I was, working 30, 35 accounts by myself. And once again, the clients don't really care whether or not I'm up at, 2 in the morning. The clients don't really care that I also have 30 other clients that I'm working on, because they deserve and will always receive undivided attention as if they were my only client. It didn't matter if I was tired. It didn't matter if I wanted to go and relax or go on a vacation or et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. In entrepreneurship, there are no excuses. The work has to get done. The deliverables have to be met. Most recently, I've run into this with sales for Every Second Accounts. This has been one that really perplexes me because I've always been under the assumption that salespeople would be the most autonomous type of individuals that I could hire. And my experience working with sales individuals at either my various companies or just, gotten to know throughout my clients and this and that, that's usually been the case. But for me, and maybe it's just been a bad run of me of judging character, which is kind of rare because I'm usually fairly on point with hiring and usually never have to really go back to the drawing board. But I'll start by saying that I'm a super easygoing boss. I'm either the best person in the world to work for or it's not going to work out. And why I say that is because I am the furthest thing from a micromanager that you could ever imagine. I'm someone that I'll outline, the general responsibilities and duties of a role and then let you go and run with it. And in my life, I run on the assumption and expectation of trust. At the end of the day, that is worth more than anything to me when it comes to employees. And it's trust that you're going to get your work done. It doesn't mean I'm not available for questions. I'm always available, but I refuse to have staff or work with individuals who need to constantly be, hey, did you get this done? Hey, I saw that these tasks are still outstanding. Are you going to get to those? Those were due 2 days ago. I don't deal with that. If you have to-dos daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, deadline dates, you have to hit them and there's no excuses. I don't want to have to hound and go back and always have to micromanage. So I've been super, super fortunate throughout my career that maybe it's just the way I judge people and character, but I've never really had to deal with that. I've hired almost strictly people who want to take a role, run with it, make it their own. I talked about it a few videos ago. Basically be an entrepreneur within that role. Take what's there, but then improve it and continue to grow within that specific position. I haven't found that with salespeople, which I just think is so perplexing because to me, knowing the salespeople that I know and have worked with, what individual wouldn't want to be able to pick their own schedules, to be able to kind of choose their own sales methods and approaches, Not that I don't have scripts or, like leads and stuff like that or ideas, but I pretty much have a set blueprint of what okay, I'm not going to go super in depth with the sales position itself, but nonetheless, where I'm going with this is at the end of the day, it hasn't worked out up to this point, but I have goals, specifically the one that I've spoken into existence here on the show, of growing every second accounts 500% this year. And the fact of the matter is, if nobody's doing outreach, we're not growing, at least not exponentially and at that rate to attain that goal. So there's no excuses because the goal is the goal is the goal. So after I'm finished recording this video and hopefully the mic's on so I don't have to do it again, I'm going to hop on and start doing sales calls because there's no excuses. I have to be ready for any task at any point in time to step up to the plate when it needs to be done when it pertains to my business. So for those of you looking to go into entrepreneurship or who may have, who may be entrepreneurs, I hope you find this insightful and valuable. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.